This message comes from Capital One. The Capital One Venture X business card earns unlimited double miles on every purchase. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/VentureXBusiness.
Hey, it's your old friend Peter. Coming up, we've got a special Thanksgiving-themed episode of How to Do Everything made by Wait Wait producers Mike Danforth and Ian Chillag. Now, if you're currently listening to this podcast while, say, driving somewhere for the holidays and you're starting to feel carsick, then make sure to keep listening. Once again, everybody, How to Do Everything will not live in this feed forever, whether that makes you happy or not, so be sure to follow them at their own feed. Okay, Mike and Ian, take it away.
Hey, Ellie, what can we help you with?
So, as a kid, I remember riding roller coasters. I remember my parents had a Volvo station wagon where the back seat you could face backwards. Riding the subway, everything. I never got motion sickness, never got car sick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I've gotten older, like I'm 26, but I noticed like I can't do roller coasters the same. Like I remember one time going to Disneyland as a kid and doing California Screamin' like 6 times in a row, and I could have done more, but we had to go to dinner or something. And I guess my question is just sort of like, is there a way I could build up that stamina again? Now, can't look at my phone in the car, or I feel like I get kind of ill feeling, and just sort of like, what changed from childhood to now? I mean, a lot of things, but in terms of motion sickness.
Yeah.
Ellie, I've noticed the same thing. I loved roller coasters when I was a kid, but I recently went to Disney World and I rode Space Mountain, and I needed 2 hours to recover. Driving home from the park, I was just leaning my head against the window and moaning.
Yeah, and I should point out, this was a work trip. So there were this wasn't like in the privacy of your own family. This was a work event.
Yeah, a coworker was like sitting next to me in the car on the way home, patting my back, but also positioning her body to be out of the way if I threw up.
And I think you left early from Disney World.
No,
you had to leave.
No, but everybody else just kept riding rides, and I just had to stand outside staring off into the distance.
You're just a party pooper.
All this is to say, Ellie, I feel your pain.
And I would say, Ellie, things are only going to get worse.
That's what I'm worried about. And so I'm still in my 20s, which is where it's like, hangovers, I know are only going to get worse as I get older. Motion sickness. There's a lot of stuff that I'm still in. My body's still on the younger side.
You still have elasticity in your brain, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. What if we go a way to find an answer to this question, and what we come back to you with is, Ellie, enjoy this moment while you can. It's only going to get worse.
Ellie, we actually have terrible news. You only have 6 months.
You know who could help with this? Beloved Hollywood superstar Kevin Bacon.
Kevin, when you guys were getting ready to shoot Apollo 13, you prepared on the Vomit Comet, right?
Well, not just preparing. We actually shot on the Vomit Comet. We shot quite a bit of the movie because back in those days, you really couldn't recreate weightlessness using VFX, special effects. I mean, you could try to take out a bunch of wires and have people flying around on harnesses like Peter Pan, but it was never going to work very well.
Yeah.
Yes. After we did the test run on this airplane, Ron came to us and said, Ron Howard, the director, said, so we're going to build the sets up on the Vomit Comet and try to shoot stuff up there.
Wait, so what do you remember from that? Like, tell us about what that experience was like.
Well, I'm always grateful for all the crazy experiences that I get to have just by the nature of the work that I do, the places that I get to go and the characters and the shoes I get to walk in. But this one was really, really kind of nuts. The KC-135, also known as the Vomit Comet, is a plane that NASA uses to simulate no gravity on Earth, which a lot of people think there's such a thing as an anti-gravity chamber, but that's literally impossible to do. So what they do is, it's a large plane. It flies out over the Gulf of Mexico, and the pilot makes it climb straight up and then straight down. And as you go over the top of what's called a parabola, the centrifugal force balances out with the gravitational pull of the Earth. And so you create weightlessness for 26 seconds. So if you've ever been on a roller coaster and you go over the top of that roller coaster and there's a big drop, you know what that feels like. You know, your stomach goes up into your brain. And so we went out, and once the sets were built up there, we did it 600 times.
600 times? What?
Yeah. We would do 20 in the morning, then we would break for lunch.
Oh, yeah, because you need something to barf up later.
Exactly. And then we would do 20 in the afternoon. And it was kind of a miracle of, film ingenuity.
So, Kevin, that's a pretty stacked cast. Were any of your castmates, could they not handle it? Did any of them have trouble up there?
Well, no. NASA was giving us some serious anti-nausea medication.
Okay.
Which definitely helped. I know that Tom and Bill, the drugs were kind of a drag because, I don't know if you've ever taken an anti-nausea medication. Sometimes they work because they sort of, make you sleepy. You know what I mean? They calm you down.
Right.
And so to combat that, we also had to take a stimulant. So it was like a combination of two, and you never really knew which one was going to kick in. But one day, both Bill and Tom decided that they were going to cowboy it out and not take it. And they were both pretty green. There was something that's kind of funny. They call it an airman's corsage. When you went up, now we were in our costumes, but everybody else that would go up was required to wear a flight suit. And on the chest are two pockets, with zippers. And so you take the vomit bag and you stuff it in there, and then you leave it, you leave the opening kind of poking out. And they called it an airman's corsage. So that so it's right there. Now I never threw up. I did get thrown up on.
Keep going.
Well, okay, so if you can imagine when you're floating, you can't really use things like dolly track or whatever. Basically, it was all handheld.
Yeah.
Because the cameras would float, and so the camera guy was operating, and it was a shot of me, and I'm watching him, and all of a sudden he sort of pulls his head out from behind the lens and pukes. Now the thing about that is that it's floating too.
Yeah.
And there was nothing for me to do about it. I just saw the puke coming and just, tried to kind of roll out of the way, but it came right down.
Well, Kevin, we'll let you go, but I guess, having been through all of this, these 600 flights, do you have any tips for Ellie?
I can tell you one thing, Ellie. We were actually trained in this. On our very first flight, we were told not to swivel our head, not to look from side to side, but to keep your focus straight ahead. And they say the same thing about being on a boat, that if you keep your eyes on the horizon, it'll help with the nausea. So what's funny about that is I remember now, especially on the first few flights, when we went up and down in the parabolas, they kept us strapped in, like we didn't leave our chairs. It wasn't until we had kind of gotten used to it that we started taking off our seatbelts and started flying around. But the first few flights, you were supposed to just, keep your seatbelt on and stay in your chair. And Tom Hanks was in front of me, and I stared a hole in the back of his head. I just remember, I remember the back of his head so well, because I was just sitting there, white knuckling it out in the chair, before I got used to it, and just, staring right through him. I could probably draw you a picture of the back of Hanks's head.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for helping Ellie out.
Yeah, Ellie, good luck with that.
All right, Ellie, we have another solution for you in case for some reason you can't get Tom Hanks to sit in front of you every time you're on a roller coaster.
We just read this study in Frontiers of Human Neuroscience that says...
We are always reading Frontiers in Human Neuroscience. Okay. We just love it.
Right, we skimmed a study in the Frontiers of Human Neuroscience that says listening to soft or joyful music after driving reduces car sickness by up to 57%.
You know who makes soft and joyful music?
Me?
Kenny G.
Well, that research is very interesting. I was going to say just make sure you're looking out of the window, but I guess there's more to it than that. Okay, so I recorded a song, Joy to the World, from one of my Christmas records, because if it's joyful, that's going to be the perfect song. And I think that will it'll probably make you feel good. Even in the middle of July, you'll probably enjoy hearing it.
Yeah. Is there something, Kenny, in your vast experience that you think is key to making a song joyful?
That's a good question. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if there's a real thing that makes it joyful. I mean, you could say, well, let's make it up-tempo. Well, that doesn't necessarily, to me, make it joyful. It might make it faster.
Yeah, sure.
So, I wish there was an answer for it. But, I could say, well, if I play a D sharp, 5 times in a row, that makes the song joyful. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that.
Do you have a horn handy there where you could demonstrate for us?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to give me a few minutes though while we're talking. Can I?
Oh yeah.
Can I get it ready? I don't have it prepared, but you have to give me a second, okay?
We'll give you all the time you need.
Well, we can keep talking while we're doing it. I'm going to brush my teeth while we talk. So,
Wait,
I don't
are you
play
serious?
my saxophone unless I brush my teeth.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Is that
you got to have clean sax?
Okay. Well, now we have a whole new question. Yeah.
Is that ritual, or does that actually improve your playing?
It doesn't improve my playing. It's just listen. I'm brushing my teeth while I'm talking. This is crazy.
That's incredible.
What happens is that I don't want any food particles or anything to get in my saxophone. So I got to make sure that when I'm blowing it in there, there's no smell of onions or garlic or any of those kind of things, or there's no food particles. We don't want that in the saxophone.
I guess it would come back to you the next time you played the saxophone. That wouldn't be,
Well, you could, you might, I'll tell you, I was going to buy this saxophone. Look, I have my saxophone. This is the same one I've had since I was in high school. Yeah. And it has a serial number, and the serial number equates to, I can tell you when it was born. My saxophone was born on March 17th, 1959. I researched it.
Wow.
So that's my saxophone. Now, so when they made this saxophone, they also made other saxophones that day, let's say 30 or 40, whatever. Mm-hmm. And there's a serial number that's two more than mine. It's on the same day. Same day in 1959 in Paris. Saw the saxophone, not knowing that it was the same day. I just saw the saxophone, and it was in this green rubber case. Now I remember mine came in a green rubber case when I first got it, and I opened it up and said, "Oh my gosh, this looks like my saxophone." Smelled like smoke.
Oh,
the guy was a smoker, and I could not. I mean, I wanted to buy it, because it was like, my sax could have a brother, and I couldn't even stand having it on my fingers. It stuck. So, all right. So I'm now trying to take my sax out of the case. Now that my mouth is nice and fresh.
You did such an impressive job of talking to us and brushing your teeth at the same time. Like, you can also do you're a circular breather, right? That's something you know how to do?
Of course I know how to do it.
So you could do all these things and breathe continuously the whole time.
So let's see. All right. So what happens when you put a sax together is the reed has to kind of find itself on the mouthpiece. So it doesn't necessarily play beautifully right off the bat for a minute or two.
Okay.
So anyway, I've got it out, and I'm just kind of doing...
Wow.
So if I was going to play something like a minor key would be something like
Okay.
So you see, that's kind of sad. Now, we can do something major, so that'll be happier. And Ellie, I think this is what you need to listen to when you're feeling carsick. you go, Ellie. That'll do it for you.
Hey, if you've got a question for us, you can get it to us at howto@npr.org.
We promise no matter how big or small, we will do everything in our power to address your question.
We can do everything in our limited power to help you.
Just send us an email at howto@npr.org.
This message comes from NPR sponsor Patagonia. As environmental progress stalls, Patagonia believes it's on businesses to step up. The company knows it isn't perfect, but it's proving businesses can make a profit without bankrupting the planet. Out now is Patagonia's 2025 Work in Progress Report, a behind-the-scenes look into its impact initiatives from quitting forever chemicals and decarbonizing its supply chain to embracing fair trade. Explore more at patagonia.com/impact.
This message comes from Charles Schwab. When it comes to managing your wealth, Schwab gives you more choices, like full-service wealth management and advice when you need it. You can also invest on your own and trade on Thinkorswim. Visit schwab.com to learn more.
This message comes from Capital One. The Capital One Venture X business card has no preset spending limit, so the card's purchasing power can adapt to meet business needs. Plus, the card earns unlimited double miles on every purchase. So the more a business spends, the more miles earned. And when traveling, the Venture X business card grants access to over 1,000 airport lounges. The Venture X business card. What's in your wallet? Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/VentureXBusiness. This message comes from Babbel. Babbel's conversation-based language technique teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/NPR. Spelled BABBEL.com/NPR. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Support for this podcast and the following message come from Mint Mobile. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no hidden fees. Plans start at $15 a month. Make the switch at mintmobile.com/wait. That's mintmobile.com/wait. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
It's entirely possible that you are listening to this episode of How to Do Everything while stuck in traffic on your way somewhere for Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It doesn't, what I just said suggests it is not currently a happy Thanksgiving.
Fair enough. Sorry. Yeah, well, you've got this Thanksgiving. We can't do anything about the traffic, but we might be able to help make you feel a little better.
We read about in 2010, there was a traffic jam in China that lasted 12 days.
Li Jiazhang, you were actually stuck in this traffic jam, right?
Yes. We were lucky ones. Some of the drivers got stuck there for days.
Yeah.
Because I saw people got some water from the stream or river, whatever, started having showers on the roadside.
Wow.
I mean, good for them. Like you can't blame them after being trapped in your car for so long.
Yes.
So what did you end up doing when you were trapped in that traffic jam for so long? Like, how did you guys kill time together?
We left Xanadu shortly after early lunch. We were in good spirit. My friend Tatiana, she was a diplomat, and she brought Brazilian biscuits and chocolates. So we were happy for a while until we got stuck for hours on the road. And it was so funny because and we were hungry. But the Chinese people were very enterprising, and Chinese people also loved food. So on the roadside, you'll see people setting dumplings, selling hot pot, noodle pot.
Oh,
hot
wow.
food.
Oh, yeah.
And people set up food stores along the roadside.
So people selling dumplings and hot pot, people showering with water from the creeks and rivers. Did you see anything else, or have you heard other stories of ways people dealt with it?
I saw people, the lorry drivers just took their shirts off. It was hot summer.
Oh.
And they just sit on stones and start playing cards.
Why not? Well, based on now your experience with these traffic jams, what do you bring with you now on trips in your car just in case you get stuck?
Oh, I always, even without the incident, I always bring food. I have nuts, I have dried fruits, I have not Brazilian, but biscuits.
Sure. Do you have a deck of cards?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, that does it for this week's show. What'd you learn, Ian?
Well, I learned that they actually filmed Apollo 13 in zero gravity, in the vomit comet.
Yeah, you don't see that kind of stuff anymore. Now it really is just computer-generated stuff.
I feel like if whatever project I was working on, if I knew that people had brought in NASA to fly a space-age vehicle, I would feel a lot of added pressure. I think I would blow a lot of takes if I were performing in Apollo 13.
Yeah, it's not funny when you crack and do a funny joke. Let's do it again. We'll just do it again.
We've never seen the Apollo 13 bloopers. Tom Hanks, that was hilarious. You just cost us $45 million.
I learned that before he plays his instrument, Kenny G has to brush his teeth.
Do you think that that's in Kenny G's rider? Like the only thing in his rider is a brand new toothbrush and 1 gallon of Aquafresh.
What kind of toothpaste do you use for that?
I feel like he could make a lot of money if he pitched Oral-B with Kenny G.
How to Do Everything is produced by Schuyler Swenson and Heena Srivastava. Technical direction from Lorna White.
You can get us your questions at howto@npr.org. I'm Ian.
And I'm Mike.
Thanks.
This message comes from the Sierra Club, fighting to protect America's national parks and forests. These public lands are the nation's legacy, and their future is worth fighting for. Donate at sierraclub.org/NPR, and your gift will be matched.
This message comes from Jackson. Seek clarity in retirement planning at Jackson.com. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Inc., Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
This message comes from Vital Farms, who works with small American farms to bring you pasture-raised eggs. Farmer Tanner Pace shares why he chose to collaborate with Vital Farms when he brought pasture-raised hens to his small Missouri farm.
Probably the best thing about being a Vital Farms farmer is working with a group that is not just motivated for one thing. They're motivated for the well-being of the animals, for the well-being of the earth. They care about it all, and that means a lot to me.
To learn more about how Vital Farms farmers care for their hens, visit vitalfarms.com.